Up MBNs, garden gurus, thank you for joining in. We got our trusty Fisker's garden knife and we're getting ready to go out here and harvest some of our okra and show you guys how to collect seed. So let's roll on to the garden and we'll show you how we do this. So the first thing I want to mention before we get this video started is the variety that we have grown in this video is Clemson spineless okra. It was developed right here in North Carolina, and I gotta tell you, unless we completely just pull them up, they just don't really die off and turn brown like most other okra does. So it's a little bit tricky, but we'll go ahead and show you and teach you a little bit about how to watch each section of the plant to know when it's getting ready to turn into seed. All right guys, so here we are in the fall garden. As you can see, we still have a lot of stuff to do, but up here is our okra. Now here we are at the base of the plant, and I gotta say, this is probably some of the strongest and biggest okra we've ever grown. This stuff is just amazing, and it is packed on like you wouldn't believe. Now if we was to come out here tomorrow and pull this okra off, in 2 days we'd have to come out and pull them off again. And if we didn't in that amount of time, they'd get big and grainy like this right here, and you wouldn't be able to eat them. This plant is not the one in question. It still has a way to go, and I'm not sure how it's going to fare. We do have colder weather coming in really soon, so we shall see. But we have some here that is pretty much getting ready to come off. Now, as you can tell, they're still blooming. Like these guys are still making okra, but we're still trying to let all we can go to seed. So what you're looking for is, if you'll notice, now we hadn't pruned these plants at all. These guys have just did it all by themselves, and you can see the branches laying there on the ground. That's the first sign, and it takes a little while for these guys to like start to dry out really good. They'll look like this for a while, but when you come up, you'll notice when you squeeze them, they feel squishy and green. You have to let them get completely in a dry, like you can hear the seed in there. When you shake it, they pretty much come loose, and that's when you know they're ready. And you squeeze, you can hear that good old crunchiness, and you can almost just see the seed hanging out right in the okra. So that's when you know that they're ready to come off. But most of the time, the entire plant will look like this, but we've not really experienced okra that just wants to keep going. It's pretty crazy. So this is probably the #1 variety we'll be growing from now on. All right, let's get some of these pods off here. We're going to use our Fisker knife and just cut right here, because these things are really stout. We're just going to cut them off the branch just like that, drop them in a bowl, and we're going to take you guys in the house and show you how we get to seed. Okay guys, so here we are out here with our okra, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys how we get the seed out. We have our trusty Fisker's garden knife. Now I like to use this thing because it has those 2 prongs on there, and it just helps me get the seed out really quick. So as you can tell, we've already been starting on it. That's the color you want your seed to be. They don't need to be black or any other color. They just need to be that like drab green, olive green. Depending on how big your okra is, you can get anywhere 30 to 120 seed out of each one of these. So anyway, this is going to be pretty easy, guys. When you're looking at your okra, you're going to see brown and white. These little star patterns, what I call it, the white is the tattletale sign of where your seed's at. We don't have to push anything or put any kind of weight on the knife. All we got to do is just put it in there. It goes in right by itself, and we just turn it. And when we open it up, you'll see in each one of these little white lines is a whole row of okra seed. So now what's going to happen is they're going to go everywhere when I try to get it open. So I'll see if I can get it open a little bit more. Okay, so each one of those little white lines have a whole row of seed in it. So every time you open one of those up, here's another one. So all we do is just hold it over the bowl each one of these. And now, as you can see, here's another of those one of little white patterns, and they're kind of shaped in a V pattern, and each one of these V patterns have seed inside of them. So there's your little white streak. You open it up and there's all your seed, and they go everywhere when they're dry. There you go. All right, we're gonna do one more just to show you how we do it. All we do is we look at our okra, we find those white lines, and all we do is just insert the knife. And I mean, it's really easy. They're so dry, and we'll just insert that knife right there. Try this again. And when you turn it, and there's all your seed. And once you get one started, it's pretty easy after that, because all you have to do then is just keep pulling these little triangle pieces off, and there y'all's all your seed on the end. You just keep peeling it off. Okay, folks, that's pretty much all there is to it. There are a few things, though. There are a few keys. The first thing is that we always recommend making sure your okra dries on the stalk. Let the plant completely dry out the best you can. But here, we like to get that 80–90% germination. So we want to make sure ours completely dry on the stalk. That's the most important thing for us. The next important thing is, once you get the seed out of these pods, even though they're crispy and they sound dry, when those seed come out, unless they've been sitting there for a long time, they're going to have some moisture to them. And you'll be able to tell by the color of them. So what you want to do is just put them up, lay them out for a couple of days, and make sure they're completely dry. When you pick them up, hold them in your hand, squeeze them, you'll be able to feel if they have any moisture. They'll feel kind of chilly. You'll be able to feel the dampness. Make sure they're dried out and store them in a paper bag until you're ready to use them. Now, if you have room, we always say the best way to store your seed is just leave them in the pot till you're ready to use them. However, we do have a lot of seed here, and we take our extras and we put them on Etsy, and we like to share them with everybody else. So it's just the extras that we have here. We're not a seed company or anything, but if you want to get your hands on some of the most prolific okra, you need to pick some of these up. Get them from anywhere, or you can get Clemson okra from our MB Homestead store. Just click the link below. So, okay, guys, those are the two main tips that we tell everybody. Make sure it dries on the stalk. Make sure your seed are dry before you put them up. When you do put them up, put them in a paper bag. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. We hope this helps, clears up a few things. And as always, we'll try to see you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.